Good morning, folks. It's Sunday morning here in Tennessee. I'm where I was Friday morning. I've gone up the same trail I started, even though I think they're going to be on the opposite side of the road. I've come up this trail a little bit because this high point right here is kind of right over the road, and so I'd be able to hear anything over there really good, and then I can bail left and right off of this point down a mild draw, depending on where they were. And this little high point is kind of in the center of this public. This public's only about, it's just over 3/4 mile long between basically two neighborhoods. So it's not very wide, and it's not necessarily very deep, especially on the other side of the road where I was messing with those birds. But I think there's actually roosted right up here. Are you kidding me? If that's the case, I'm already busted. There's literally one within 100 yards. He's right behind me. I'm kind of pinned down now. He's really close. I need to try to figure out where he's at. I wonder if I'm busted. Wouldn't surprise me. Alright, there's 3 birds. One right in front of me, 2 across the road. The one in front of me finally sounded off for the 2nd time. He is not far in there. So I've been staring at this dark spot on a tree up here. I thought it was the gobbler, but I did hear a big set of wings fly down just a little bit after a hen flew across right to him. And I just saw, I think it was 3 birds. That was 4 birds I just knocked off the roost. We are an hour and 9 minutes into legal, which means it's 39 minutes after sunrise. You can see the sun up in the trees. So that was probably 7 birds in the area. I was walking up here to see if I could find that dark spot that I thought was the tom. Well, I tell you what, I've been in and around the birds just by dumb luck. That bird was too close. That sounds like a guy on a wingbone call. But you know what? There were 2 birds on the other side. And all my batteries have died. I mean, it's kind of cold out, but dang, it's not that cold. Alright, I went back to the car, got some food and water in, and then came back up onto the other side of the road where there were 2 gobblers this morning. I got some sign, and I'm pretty sure I've heard 2 gobbles that sounds like that was another one. They're on my side of the road, or that's on my side of the road. So I'm gonna mask up and get serious. It almost sounds like it's in the vicinity where I had the mess up on Friday, the first mess up, first one. I'm gonna mask up and sit over here, see if I can't. Kind of on its level. The draw goes up. Kind of on its level, the draw goes way up that way. And so he's over here somewhere. That was not that far away. I think I'm going to mask up. Slip back here. So 2 days ago, they ended up going all the way to the high point in this area. And so what I think I need to do is go ahead and beat them there. He's never gobbled back at me, really. I've only called once or twice. But I think he's got hens. In fact, a hen was 60 yards in front of me as I was sitting down, and I must have spooked her, and she flew into the direction of that gobbler. So my guess is he's probably henned up and he just gobbles from time to time. So I think I just need to get up above them. If they're going to feed uphill like they did on Friday, I'll already be up there. I just got here and I heard him gobble. Probably 200 yards. I moved forward to this stump. He's definitely coming up here. I haven't called since I moved, and I just had to go through a bunch of junk to get here. A bunch of deadfall and small pines. I do not like where the sun is at for me. Glasses are fogging up. Come up at about 100, fed over, and then started feeding away. Looked like she came up the draw and then turned and is going to go down the next ridge. I assume she had maybe another couple hens and that tom with her, but I didn't see any others. There's a bird gobbling out in this direction. I can hear it, so he's not that far. But I thought he was on private. But there's a road right here, and it shows up on the map going right down the saddle up to where I think he is. And there's a boundary road, just like the National Forest always does. So I'll keep track on Onyx and make sure that's correct as I go. But I'm pretty sure that's correct. If he's on private, it ain't by much. I'm waiting for him to gobble on his own again. First hilltop's right up here, and it's about to get loud through this junk. So I'd like to get a pinpoint on if he's here or at a ridge that's about 200 over. Just heard him, and he's a ways up. Sounds like he moved and went to the private side. It appears that when I moved, he moved, because I'm about where I think he was, and he still sounds just as far, even though I've come about 700 yards. I've tried to give him the box call, but he's a ways out there. Tell you what though, I've been in and around birds in Tennessee, so that definitely makes it a lot more exciting than not hearing a thing. But boy, I'd like to close the deal on one of these bad boys. So after I let the siren song of that distant bird capture my attention, I went over there and was over there a couple hours. And like I said, that joker pushed off, and who knows where he went. I came back up over here where I had the mess up, the second mess up on Friday over here. And this morning when I had come up, tried to beat the gobblers up here. That gobbler was over here somewhere, and I saw the one hen over here, and I'm guessing that gobbler was down this ridge over this way, and maybe she was on the fringe of the flock. Then I messed with that guy over there and let that siren song tempt me. And I came back. I'm trying to figure out a place to sit. The sun is just in a terrible place, and everything back here is pretty much on a hill, or it's wide open. If it's flat, it's wide open. And so I'm just trying to figure out a place to sit. This is the third day in a row that the woods at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, they just go dead. Nothing kicks off again. I mean, I don't know if that's a thing, but I've not come across any more gobbles in the last part of the morning and into the afternoon. Probably end up down by the car in an hour or so. Really need to do some more editing. Got a little bit done yesterday, but I think what I'm going to do is sit here at the car down there till roost time, see if anything gobbles on the roost, and then I'm pretty much sure I've got to come back into here. I mean, there were 3 birds here on one side of the road or the other this morning. That one, I just walked, I was going to this little listening point, and that joker was roosted right behind me. Was not far at all. And then there were all those hens on the side. This morning didn't help that he already had a hen fly over right to him. And another couple could have flown over that I didn't see. I was in a bad position too. Never seem to be in a good position on these guys. I think they're more crafty than I am. I gotta up my crafty game. They seem to be one step ahead. It also kind of begs the question, how long do I stay in Tennessee? I want to get over to Missouri, but with hearing birds like this every morning, it's going to be tough to leave. My tag is only good for 7 days. I bought the 7-day tag that Tennessee offers, so I've only got 7 days anyway. Another option would be to play around tomorrow, see what happens, and then push toward Missouri, but stay in Tennessee. Hunt Tennessee another couple days. Get a couple hours or something, or shift locations. But I tell you what, when you're hearing this many birds, it's hard to leave. That's a bird. Problem is, he's only about maybe 200 yards diagonal from the parking spot, and he's right above the trail. I gotta figure out how I'm going to get up there tomorrow. I also think I've heard one on the other side of the road, but way down there. And I think there's one behind him in the valley or somewhere behind him, behind this ridge. In fact, I know there was one goblin back there. And for a little bit, I thought this one might have been two in that vicinity. There he goes again. He could be on the top.